NCAA Prop time, presented by LineStar. Alongside my co-host Tyler Riemann, I'm Shannon Sommerville with your top 5 NCAA player prop bets for March Madness Sweet 16 Fridays action. And we've got some good ones, Tyler. We've been doing pretty well so far. Last week, we got, I believe it was 6 of 10. Okay. So I think we can do a little bit better this time around. But still, you got to be in the green, and we are. So not too bad. Let's get started. Before we do, though, I do have to tell you our picks are available on Underdog Fantasy and PrizePicks. And if you don't already have those apps, make sure to download them. Use our promo code LineStar for up to $100 of your deposit match plus 2 free months of LineStar. LineStar is the app that we're using, and we are using the Props AI tool, which is an awesome tool to help you find the best value in the prop market. It compares LineStar's projections to what's out there, the different lines that are out there in the market. So make sure to check that out, linestarapp.com, and get those apps, everything locked and loaded for some March Madness, because we've got some good props coming your way. Let's start things off with actually the last game of the night, and we'll go to the Texas Longhorns and DeSue. We're taking DeSue over 13.5 points, minus 124. DeSue is a player who's been having a phenomenal March Madness. He's third in points of the players remaining, averaging 22.5 points. He's gone over that 13.5 mark for the last 5 games and averaging just over 19 points per game over the last 10. Let's be honest. He put Texas on his back against Penn State. He put up 28 points in that one. He's got great size, 6'9", 225. And going up against Xavier, this is a good matchup for him. They rank 63rd in adjusted defensive efficiency. That's actually the 4th worst among all the teams still left in the tournament. What do you think about this line at 13.5 for DeSue?
I think this line is just a little bit low.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, after that Penn State game, chimed in and said that he looked like LaMarcus Aldridge. So it's pretty high praise coming from KD here.
Yeah.
But this is a guy that can really score. Going against Xavier is a better matchup than he has had versus Kansas and TCU. We also have a super high game total here. I think Texas is going to need him to put the ball in the bucket. So let's go, 13.5.
You mentioned Kansas and TCU. Both are top 25 in adjusted defensive efficiency. And so I think they'll have no problem against Xavier.
I agree.
Which brings us to our next prop. He hit it for us last week. Let's go to Creighton junior center Ryan Kalkbrenner over 5.5 rebounds, minus 135. We got some nice juice on that one. Averaging just over 6 rebounds per game this season, averaging 7 per game in the tournament. Going up against Princeton, the second worst defense still left in the tournament, according to that defensive efficiency rank. They're 99th in opponent rebounds per game. I'd say the incredible Kolk is in a good spot. What do you think, Tyler?
He is in a great spot. And then you talk about Princeton's size here. Biggest guy on their team, 6'11", but the biggest starter is only 6'9". Kolk is also a very long and tall guy. So you add that added length against the 6'9" player, and it just kind of exaggerates that height difference and size difference. So I think 5.5 is really low here. I also don't mind his points prop.
Yeah, love his points as well. I think a lot of the game plan will be focusing on getting it into Kalkbrenner in the paint in this one. Kalkbrenner, you talked about the stats for Princeton in this one. He is 7'1", 260 pounds. I just don't see the Tigers being able to match up physically with him.
And he looks nothing like 260. He looks very skinny, but that just shows you how long he is.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so we're going to find a little correlation here and kick it to one of his teammates for our next prop. We're going Ryan Nemhard over 3 assists. And that's actually in the sports books at 3.5, minus 122. You might want to hop on it if you're liking this prop. Get on it now. That 3 assists will go up likely to 3.5 if it's not there already on Underdog Fantasy and PrizePicks. Either way, I still kind of like it, Tyler, because he's averaging just under 5 assists per game this season. He's averaging about just under 4 over the last 10 games. He has pushed or gone over 8 of the last 10 games. And he's a guy who, yes, he just had 30 points against Baylor. So you might say, why would he pass the ball ever when he's this hot? But I think a part of this game plan, as we talked about with Brenner, like that'll be getting it to him in the paint in this one, given the big size advantage. So I see him having a lot of opportunities for those assist numbers.
Yeah. Princeton has better perimeter D than they do interior. So it makes a lot of sense for them to pass the ball in. And honestly, I like Nemhard's last week when he was at like 4 assists or 4.5 assists. I like the over. This number has dropped. I'm going to hit it all day.
All right. So those are our Creighton guys. Now let's go to one of the top seeds in the tournament and one of the best players in NCAA basketball right now.
Hurts me.
It hurts you. Alabama freshman forward Brandon Miller over 2.5 threes, minus 133. Miller, okay, started out the tournament awful, 0 points, but then settled in the second game a little bit. 2 threes, 19 points in that game. This is a guy who averages about 3 threes a game. He led the team in 3-point attempts by 70. He's averaging just under 3 over the last 10 games. Prior to those, I guess, down performances that he's had in the tournament, he was over 6 of 10, so numbers on his side in this one. Now, going up against San Diego State, very good defense. However, there are some chinks in their armor there, and Alabama's a team that is predicated on shooting the 3 and being really aggressive on the perimeter. What do you think about this Miller prop?
So being the reason I don't like this prop is I am from San Diego. I've been raised here. So I don't like picking against San Diego teams. However, I think this is a great spot to go against San Diego. We're talking about a guy, Brandon Miller, who got hurt in the SEC championship game. He hurt his groin. First game of the tournament, he was obviously hobbled, wasn't really shooting. The second game, he started shooting some threes, and now we have another week of him to heal. The Sports Injury Central docs said he should be close to 100% here, and if that's the case, this 2.5 number is likely way too low. He's going to be firing from outside. You
and I were talking before the show. We're like, he's just in for a monster game. One of these tournament games, if they make it past the next round, I think he's going to possibly get hot at the right time for Alabama. And they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, especially that perimeter shooting game. All right, lastly, we're going to Houston Cougars. Junior Juwan Roberts over 8.5 rebounds, minus 122. Roberts averaging just under 10 rebounds per game over the last 10, and he's gone over 3 of the last 5 games. And that includes, Tyler, a 20-rebound game against Memphis, going up against a Miami defense that, well, they're not known for their defense. They don't really play much defense. They're known for that fast-paced, high-scoring offense. So given that, what do you make of this line at 8.5? Which seems high for anyone, but for Roberts, it's somebody who can absolutely hit it.
I think this is a little low. And the reason I think that it is at 8.5, because most of the year, he's playing like 28 minutes-ish. Now, it comes to tournament time, his minutes bump up a little bit. In conference tournaments and NCAA tournaments, he is averaging 11.8 rebounds per game. If you throw out the game you mentioned, the 20-rebound game, he is still averaging almost 10 rebounds a game at 9.75. So that gives us a nice little edge. We know Miami wants to play some offense, but they aren't good at defense. They really need to crash the boards to stop Roberts, and I just don't think they're going to be able to.
Right, and I know Houston hasn't looked great in the tournament whatsoever, but I see them starting to kind of get it together. I think Miami's defense is going to – those things are going to start to catch up with them. You start to see that at this Sweet 16 is when, those 1 seeds start to establish themselves, or those top-seeded teams. And I think this is another case of a guy like Juwan Roberts. Your stars will start to show out for you.
Absolutely. And as we've seen with so many top seeds out of the tournament right now, these number 1 seeds that are still in it have a golden opportunity.
Absolutely. All right, and you have a golden opportunity too. Let's go over these prop bets for you. We got DeSue over 13.5 points. Ryan Brenner over 5.5 rebounds. Ryan Nemhard over 3 assists. We've got Brandon Miller over 2.5 threes. And Juwan Roberts over 8.5 rebounds. Make sure to lock those in, or you can fade us too on Underdog Fantasy and PrizePicks. Again, download the app, use our promo code LineStar for up to $100 if your first deposit match, plus 2 free months of LineStar. Also, if you're enjoying our content, do us a favor, give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and sign up for some notifications too, because as you know, some of the lines move a little bit. They take props off here and there, so we want you guys to be able to get in on the action on PrizePicks and Underdogs. So make sure you sign up to be a part of our Noti Gang, Tyler. That's what it's called. And if you comment below, let's say we start a contest, and if we hit all 5 of our props, one randomly selected commenter will win $200. What do you think about that?
Straight cash, homie. I love it.
Straight cash. So let's go get it out there. We love our subscribers. So hopefully we can reward you with these props, and then maybe somebody gets $200 from it. Either way, going to be a fun day of college basketball. I was so depressed this morning when we didn't have basketball to watch.
That is the bummer about the tournament. You get so excited about the first couple rounds.
Oh, less games.
And now it's less games. But still great games.
We've got some great games on the slate, so let's get after it. Good luck in all of your prop betting. Remember to bet responsibly. Until then, we'll see you guys next time. Good luck.
Have a good one. Bye.